Hey all, it is Charlie here, and I'm sitting down with a singer-songwriter who absolutely is such an inspiration for me, and I'm hoping you all are going to feel the same by the end of this chat. It is Gailla. How are we doing today?
Doing good, thank you. Just had rehearsal today, so
Mm,
it's very funny. We were a little bit like fried by the end of it because it went for a bit too long, and it was
mm.
very funny ending to it. But we had a successful rehearsal today, which was nice with the band.
Oh, that's amazing to hear, and leads me into this next point amazingly. Can you introduce yourself to us and tell us a bit about your sound and the music you make?
Sure. So my name's Gailla. My artist name is Gailla, and I describe the music I make in a short way as like folk pop slash rock music about climate change and history and community. I say climate, community, and cycles, but it's kind of a lot of songs. For me, it's about like really making the political personal, and a lot of
Mm,
the stories are about time or about history and about being alive and just the intricacies of those experiences is what I'm trying to like portray, and using music as a medium for getting through the difficult feelings and confusion, around climate change or just things that
mm.
we're experiencing. Mm.
Yeah, that is like the most beautiful way I've ever heard anything put before.
Thanks. Yeah, sweet. Wait, did I miss another part? I can't even remember.
No, that was
Okay, that was like,
amazing.
yeah, 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 sweet, sweet, thank you. I was like, maybe there's another question. But yeah.
No, I love that, and it's such a big thing as well, like climate change and like everything happening in our world seems so scary, and it's something that a lot of people I know. You ask them like, oh, what do you think about this? What's happening here? What's your opinion? They're like, oh, there's just too much going on. I don't know. I don't get into it, and it's like
Yeah.
you need to get into it.
Yeah. I both get it and don't when people say that. Depends on how
Yeah.
hectic their life is in any given moment. But I think all of our lives are hectic and it's hard to like just exist and then like exist in the day to day and then consider huge existential threat at the same time. Like I
Mm,
get it when people say that. Um yeah. Depends on where they're at in their life. If they've got like three kids and a dog and a full-time
mm,
job, then I'm like, it is gonna be harder for you to care about this and think about this because you just don't have the
mm.
space and the bandwidth. But
Yeah.
yeah. But some bits also sometimes it's impossible to ignore at the same time because it's a very not just an existential threat, it's a very practical threat too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like happening right outside or like even right where you're standing at any moment. Oh,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy stuff. But I want to talk about your debut EP. You released it late last year, so like recent enough that it's still like a fresh release for a lot of people. It is called Over the Earth Under. I adore it. It's like a bit of a love letter to our world. You're like processing the chaos of life and the world and everything happening around us in such like a beautiful sonic way. It's like such a gorgeous listen, but it's also like when you really listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh, there's some heavy stuff being discussed here.
Hmm.
Could you tell us a bit about this EP?
Yeah. This EP was a long time coming for sure, but I think I knew it was ready to be completed when I saw like a consistent thematic theme, a consistent theme like running throughout it, which is a lot of it's sort of grounded by this idea of deep ecology, um, which is this praxis of exploring our feelings about the climate crisis, usually in like group settings and like little group activities. It was designed by a woman from Canada and this man from Australia, which is actually he like lives on the Central Coast, which is wild because this is a huge global thing, deep ecology. But John Seed and Joanna Macy founded it, and yeah, I was really into that and still am very much into that, and it's just helped me to process my feelings about the world in a healthy way and like to experience grief and to experience joy. And I was like, this is so cool that we get to do all these activities. I've been feeling this way for a long time, and I've wanted to make a consistent, cohesive body of work for a long time about my feelings about being alive during this time. And that really helped, yeah, like shape and bookend the EP with this consistent idea of what happens in deep ecologies. Like you explore your grief, your anger, your curiosity, your love, your hope around things tied to like the climate crisis, but therefore your things tied to just being alive in this world and maybe feeling disconnected from the world. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell what it's about. It's like trying to hit on different emotions about the climate crisis and giving permission to experience those things, you know, like anger and curiosity and joy and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like, yeah, when you listen, it feels like you're allowed to then think about things. You know, sometimes, like, at least for me, I feel when I think too much about like the world and these big things that it feels impossible to change as like one person because there's such big things. You can feel a bit like you're spiraling or that you're alone or you're being really pessimistic and like things like that. But when you listen to music like this and to stories like this, it really just makes you feel like, I don't know if empowered is the right word, but like it makes you feel like you have permission to be thinking this way and to be making actions surrounding these thoughts. So I love it so much.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely the intention of the EP is like
Mm.
whatever feeling there is, and even like emptiness or guilt, which I did get into it. There's like verses where I get into it, like rather than like a whole song, but that's a really big one, I think, is everyone who's like, I need to get into climate action, I'm not doing enough. There's a lot of guilt around not doing enough, but that's like, you know, you don't want that to be the point. You want like any level of engagement or care to, like, it's deeply important and wonderful. So yeah, just accepting that.
And running off of that, I'd love to dive a little bit into what the messages that you've shared within these songs, within this EP, mean to you, and also then what are you hoping that they can mean to listeners and to your audience?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think there's a lot in there. Really, like, yeah, like it is, again, it's really personal. Every song on the EP is pulled from a personal story. Like Take Up My Whole Day is one that I'm thinking of now, which is basically about how when I started in activism, I was a teenager and I thought that I had to do it perfectly. And yeah, like put all this pressure on myself and isolated myself and like really got burnt out doing activism. And yeah, just this feeling of not doing enough. And I needed to write that song. I was actually rehearsing it today and I was like, whoa, the bridge. I forget how relevant the bridge of the song is, which is like, it's like basically saying to be quiet, to not be seen, is exactly what they want from me. But to be quiet, to not be seen has severed me from who I need to be. So it's like trying to be quiet and perfect. In my activism, I guess I had a lot of guilt around that. Is, you know, it's worse. It's better to be like imperfect and part of it than perfect and I don't know, like burnt out and exhausted. So there's a lot of messages I remind myself of in there, which is that, yeah, like this is the place for me, and there are people that love me, and this is, you know, the reason I exist. Like, Run To is like a love song for my partner, and just being like, I just want to exist in this world, and I just want to be happy, and I need to remind myself of that. Yeah, so there's a lot of reminders for myself throughout it, which I think, yeah, I find those really important. And then, sorry, what was the other question? It was like, and what messages would you want other people to get from it?
Yeah, like what are you hoping someone's going to listen to like one of these songs for the first time or listen to the EP for the first time? What do you want them to walk away with?
Curiosity, I think. Just like thinking, how do I explain it? I don't necessarily want people to like get up and be like, I'm gonna go be an activist now. I just, you know, like I don't think that's necessarily the intention. I think it's just to put a spotlight. For me, it's just, I just want to explore the feelings. I think they're so utterly unique, and I think that we've been like born into this time that's so incredibly unique, and just to have a curiosity about that and be like, oh, it is really a weird time to be alive. And yeah, maybe I feel guilt about it, maybe I feel angry. Like Shape of Change is a very kind of angry song at its core, despite not being like, there's a bit of yelling in it, but it's, you know, the delivery is kind of gentle, but the lyrics are pretty scathing. I've had some friends come to me and say like 536 was really like helpful and grounding, because that's a very big long song about just this fear of the future. So I think it's more just, I would hope for people to walk away feeling curious about their feelings about what's happening in this time. That's the main thing. Just to think, how do I feel about it? Because I probably feel empty and, I don't know, for me personally, like guilty. I feel guilty a lot because I always feel like you never feel like you're doing enough. And so you just shouldn't engage because you don't know enough about the topic. But that, for me, that's like the real catch, is like, you shouldn't disengage because you don't think you know enough. You should engage simply because you care. And I feel like, I hope the EP is telling people just the fact that you love being alive, boom, like that's enough. And that's actually, it, for me, it like kind of makes you an activist, and sort of moving between the lines of like what it means to be an activist necessarily, because it can be being an artist and writing poetry about how much you love the world. You don't have to go out and do 100 rallies a month or something. Like, every part is necessary and helpful, but just being curious about this time we're living in is just opening yourself up to curiosity about how you feel. I think that's what I'm trying to invite with the EP.
Yeah, I absolutely see that, because like some songs you can just put on, you listen to, and then they finish, and you're like, okay, next song, like move on to the next thing. But other times there are things that like you listen to, and then you've just got to kind of sit there like in silence afterwards and just be like, huh, okay, like I need to unpack what's happening up here and what's happening in here. Like it's kind of that feeling you get where it's like, I actually like want to pull out my pen and paper now, and I want to get something out after absorbing this.
Yeah, that's cool. I think really, that made me think. I was like, damn, I should have had like prompts or something after each song, being like, because there's some artists like Tyler the Creator. I remember, I think when he put out Igor, he was like, go sit under a tree and don't look at your phone and just listen to it, and please don't do anything else. Just listen to it front to back. So yeah, like having that invitation for the listener is really cool.
Oh, I love it. Sometimes like listening to like new music, especially like for the first time, it can't be done while you're studying, or it can't be done whilst you're doing something else. You like need to listen. That's what it's made for.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, deep listening.
Yeah, and what I'm so excited to have a chat about is the idea of like sustainability in music, because I am like so inspired by what you do. I was always that like one kid at my like high school assemblies standing up being like, we need to do something. We're putting in compost bins now because someone needs to do something. We're putting on a clothes drive. Let's do something. And like I remember seeing all the kids there just like, oh my God, this person's
like,
up there again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
someone's gonna do it, okay?
Yeah, it's like, hey, there was an issue, and I worked hard. Me and my like 3 friends that rallied together, we tried our best.
That is so good.
Yeah, what you do is, it's so inspiring. I truly mean it. You are like, it seems like you're doing a lot, like so much, but also I'm not sure if that's just because we live in a time where it's so hard to be an artist, that it seems that a lot of artists are just like 100% focused on like, okay, I'm going to release a song, then I'm going to do a show, then I'm going to release a song, because that's hard and expensive enough as it is. But you're going that step above. You're going, okay, how can I do all of this and do it sustainably and do it in a way that's kind to the planet? I really love how you did your public transport tour, and like getting all your stuff on those trains, those buses is iconic, because I struggle to take a bag to uni on a bus. So that's hats off for that. And you're a Sound Country ambassador for Green Music Australia, partnering with these like amazing like charities and causes that again are doing that extra step to be kind to the planet we're living on. Can you talk us through a little bit about, this is a lot, but like a little bit about what you're doing and what the sustainability within the music industry means to you?
Really good question. Oh my gosh. It's an interesting with music, because like I went to this great talk that Green Music had a couple months ago at the Lansdowne in Sydney, and it was about how venues can be more efficient. Because, sometimes we're at the whim of other things to an extent. Like, we're at the whim of a venue when we go in as, like, what they put on their rider. But, of course, you can demand things yourself. Yeah, no, public transport's a really big one. It's interesting with music because I'll also admit it's really hard to bring all your stuff to a gig. Like I
Mm,
have to drive to gigs because I'm picking up my
yeah.
bandmates. We're trying to we carpool, but like I don't discount that reality that a lot of musicians need cars, and
Yeah.
Australia is really big. And I think in other countries it'd be a bit easier perhaps to like travel across the country, especially Europe. The train system's
Yeah.
fantastic. I have a lot of beef with the Australian train system. It's
Mhm.
it's so out of date. So I've always been hoping for a change there at least. That's like I
Yeah.
think it's like my thought at least on sustainability in the music industry and what you can do yourself as an artist is like pick an area that you really find inspiring or exciting. Like
Mm,
maybe it's making merch in a sustainable way. Maybe this needs to be done, like making a spreadsheet of sustainable merch providers in Australia. Because
mm,
I can think of like two right now because I use one of them and I know about another one. But
mm,
yeah, it's yeah, we could do more. We could build
mm.
spreadsheets and like build those resources together. Green music, actually, sorry, I'm saying all this. Green music would have everything on the website. To be fair, like
Mm,
anything I'd be saying, oh, I wish we could do this more sustainably in the music
mm.
industry. Huge chance that they've already organized it and put it on the website, and you can
Yeah.
see everything for free, which is fantastic. Um, but yeah, there's like areas of advocacy that you can work on. Like I
Mm,
personally really want to see regional trains, like the Sydney to Melbourne trip. We all do
yeah.
it. It takes so long. Should be
Mm,
faster. I would love to see some concessions for musicians, like for there
mm.
to be, for them to allow musicians to like carry a couple more instruments on, because there is definitely a limit to carry on
Mm,
luggage. But there's heaps, to be honest, I don't know. I've gone on the trains and I was like, there was so much space. I could have fit a whole cello in here.
mm,
But I'd love to see more of that personally. Like I
mm.
want to focus on that becoming a reality in the future. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's like just doing what you think is exciting and then focusing on how that can be more sustainable.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And yeah, you mentioned merch there. I know so many artists I've like sold merch for or brought merch from who are like, oh yeah, we like went to the op shop, found a bunch of shirts, like great condition, low cost, you're saving them from ending up in those like horrid like fast fashion textile piles that ugh, nasty,
Mm.
nasty stuff. That's my thing. Fast fashion is like
Oh
my one
God.
area.
Yeah,
But you
it is.
see, so many artists are like thrifting merch and then like hand embroidering their logo on, or like they're tie dyeing it themselves. Holly Hebe's been like making hair clips from thrifted jewelry, and it's like this is so cool. So like that's a big thing for me where I'm like the merch that's sustainable is my favorite thing. But
Mm.
then I would love to ask, it's kind of like a big question with multiple parts. But for us as like music fans and music consumers, or for your fellow local artists, what would you suggest we could do to be more sustainable and climate friendly with both like our consumption of like both recorded music and live events, and then also like putting out the music or putting on these events?
100%. I think when it comes to consuming music, so my friend Steven, he makes music under the name Jewel Native, and he's also like an environmental architect. And he did this great video analyzing what the most sustainable form of consuming music is. And it's
Mm,
not vinyl, it's
mm,
definitely not streaming, but it's actually literally just buying the song for like, freaking $1
yeah.
once and then downloading it to your device. Because then you're not using up streaming,
Mm,
all the things that have to run streaming. Like, just imagine where everything that Spotify, which,
mm,
anyway, has to use to keep themselves running. But
mm,
yeah, if you go to, I would honestly, I always say go to Bandcamp, buy the song for $1, or
mm.
usually the album's like $8 to $10.
Yeah.
You buy it, you download it once. That is the most sustainable way that you can listen to music.
Mm,
Um, and obviously the money goes to the artist. With Bandcamp, heaps of the money goes to the artist.
mm,
So they're fantastic. I love Bandcamp. Um, yeah, when it comes to like going to shows, of course, yeah, take public transport,
mm.
carpool if you're going with friends. Um, Depends on the show, I think, of how far you're going. But public transport's always the way, like that's
Mm.
so much better than a car. Or cycle or
Yeah.
walk,
Yeah.
depends. Especially in Sydney, I think we have a real fantastic public transport
Mm.
network. Like I don't know many friends would want to drive anyway because parking's terrible, but public transport's great. So the
Mm.
incentive is already there. Um, yeah, was there another one? Sorry, was it like
Yeah, like
consuming?
what can artists do? Or like if someone's putting on an event, what's something they can do to make it more friendly or to cut out something that normally is horrible?
Yeah. Hmm. Trying to think. I think as artists, it depends on if you're an indie artist,
Mm.
you're probably not too like, damaging to the climate necessarily.
Mm.
I've had some friends who did carbon offset
Mm.
their recordings. My friend, they make music under the name Sunny Lou.
Mm-hmm,
Carbon offset their whole EP, which is fantastic. You can go onto like websites and do that, or like go to, I don't know if I can like give you a link or something, but she
yeah.
did a whole thing on it, which was awesome.
Mm.
Um, just depends on what you're doing. I think honestly, merch is one of the big ones. Like
Mm.
choosing. So I go to Organic Teas, who is it's a small business in like the Northern Rivers, and they are awesome. And they're fair trade, organic,
Mm.
um, sustainable, great providers. I think merch is a really big one, or of course going secondhand.
Mm.
Um, otherwise, yeah, it really depends on what you're doing necessarily. I'm just trying to think like,
Mm.
if you're songwriting, it's not too bad. You're rehearsing, it's not too bad. Like we need power when we rehearse. I'm not really going out and saying we should all have like, solar powered rehearsals with
Mm.
all of our stuff. Like those things can sometimes be a bit beyond our control, but I think merch
Mm.
is very much within our control. Just going to Green Music and seeing what's available.
Yeah.
Yeah, merch and talking to your audience about it and
Mm.
encouraging them to, yeah, I would recommend they buy your song on a platform like Bandcamp and then download it to their device because that makes a huge difference
Mm.
to how they consume music and what that does for the planet. Um, yeah, those are the main ones that I'm thinking of at the moment. Um, yeah. Yeah, and touring, give it a go with public transport. I don't know, just depends on how you tour, but
Mm.
planning out a tour in advance that way. Or I've had some friends who've toured using, I mean, they own an electric vehicle, that's a little bit
Mm.
different. Or at least even if you're going to drive, carbon offset the drive. Like,
Yeah.
count how many kilometers you've done. There's heaps of websites. Green Music does cover this, how to carbon offset your trip if you did drive or if you did fly. That's a little thing you can do as well.
Mm. Yeah, that completely reminded me. I did see one of the Sunny Lou TikToks about that, and I was sitting there, and it was like I wasn't able to take it all in at the moment. I think it was just, like a mindless scroll. But I was like,
Mm,
wow, like you don't think like from the perspective of someone who doesn't make music, I don't know how much goes into like, from the outside,
mm,
you're not sure what's going on. But
mm.
seeing everything done out and all the equations, I was just like, oh my gosh.
There's a lot. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And yeah, it's like going to rehearsal, then going to the
Yeah,
gig, and then yeah, buying the clothes, or even just buying new makeup. Like,
yeah.
choose cruelty-free, vegan, sustainable brands if you're gonna go do
Mm.
makeup on stage. Just yeah, all the little. There's so many little things that compound into being an indie artist. Like it all adds
Mm.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I honestly I need to check out the Green Music website some more because like it feels like there's always so much more you don't even realize like in your day to day. I spent a lot of my day cooking and then it's like, oh, we
Mm,
don't have lids for these containers and I'm like, the beeswax wrap. I can do
yeah.
it.
Heck yeah.
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 It's just like the tiny little things that normally slip your mind. You're like, wait, there's
Mm.
actually a way around this. I can be kind. I can not use that single use glad wrap.
Exactly. Or just like go, like me and my partner thrifted a toasty, just
Mm.
like toasty maker, sorry.
Yeah.
Which was such a find. I was so impressed that he found a secondhand toasty maker, and it's
Yeah.
it's very cute and exciting. That yeah, you just give yourself patience. I think if you're
Mm.
yeah like looking for new things in your life, like, and a lot of us are forced to be sustainable because secondhand is more affordable anyway.
Yeah.
Like buying an instrument secondhand or things like that, or getting clothes secondhand. It's also convenient. It's better for us. It's better for the planet. Better for our
Yeah.
wallet. Like it's a win all around. Yeah.
Yeah. And also thrift stores are just like the coolest to rummage through. Like you never know what you're gonna find.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. Speaking of like something old and something like reused, we're gonna jump into something a bit new here. And I've seen there might be some new songs on the horizon from you.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Yes, there are.
Yes. Can you tell us, if you're allowed to, if there's anything ready to tell us, what can we expect perhaps to hear in the future?
Yeah. We have five, where are we at? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, five songs done and rehearsed that are brand new. Like, because the way we're doing it this year, at least with the band, is I've been writing one song I wrote with my bandmate Maxwell, but the other four like I've written, and yeah, we've been arranging them with the band to then record them live. So we're gonna start recording soon. We do have a song coming out in, I would say, like 8 weeks at the moment.
Okay.
Like 8 to 10 weeks. There's some things I need to still lock in, but yeah, we're hoping for two songs to be released this year before the end of this year. And then it's either going to be an EP or an album. I still don't know. There's a couple things, like, again, we've got five songs done and it's already July. So we're just walking through the recording plan at the moment, and yeah, the release plan, like what the next 12 months will look like with the release of the next project. But yeah, it's really exciting. It's very different. It's very different to the EP that we did. It's similar, but very different at the same time. It's fun. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so intriguing. Okay, I cannot wait because I love that level of like mystery where it's like, you know what's coming, but you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, even no, I do know. I would say even we don't. We do know. um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was fun. Yeah, we tested them out at a gig on Thursday night, and that was really cool. With the intention of, my friends that came, I was like, okay, so what did you think? Like, did it really hit? Like, did it really deliver in the right way in a live context? Because that's really important this time round, is we really want these songs to work so well in a live context. Like, they're very much built for being absorbed live, which is cool.
Yeah. I love that so much. Because, like, yeah, everyone loves a bit of live music. You need that in your life.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And I would love to close off our chat today by taking a sneak peek into your playlist and having a listen to which local artists in your local scene or in the broader Australian music scene have you been listening to and absolutely loving, and you think we're going to love as well.
Ooh. Okay, cool. I love giving recommendations. This is gonna be a lot of my friends. And some of them are like across different platforms, but
Yeah.
Eamon, Divine, I love. I like, I'm absolute privilege to call them my friend. They're absolutely incredible musician. Some of these haven't released music, but like Charlie Castle and the Boys in the Well, they've been really like leading like a folk bluegrass revival in the Australian scene for like our age people, and they are incredible. Isabel Knight, ridiculous, incredible singer-songwriter. Jaja, I would say. Gracie Jean. Hazel May is in Brisbane. She's beautiful. Serendipity, gorgeous. Madison Kate. I'd say Dovetail. Who else do I love? Got some friends that haven't put out music yet, like, yeah, DMT Pancake, a really sick live band. My friend Emmy Ryan, Alice Cotton, the Double Doll String Band, they're ridiculous. I love them. Charlotte Lelievre, I don't really know how to say her last name properly, but she's incredible. Cat Flowers, I think is a beautiful singer-songwriter. That's like the local-ish scene. Like most of that Sydney with some Brisbane and a little bit of like Alice. Oh, Moongaze, my friends Moongaze, they're absolutely divine. That's a decent list, I think. I don't know. There's some other singer-songwriters like I think Sarah Levins is a divine singer-songwriter in Sydney, and like Jerome Blase is a great producer. Daily Toll, I think, are really cool. Yeah, that's a couple. That's quite a few, I think. But yeah, there's too many good musicians.
That's an amazing list. There's some friends' names I recognize in there, and there's so many I'm like excited to keep on my radar because that was such an amazing list. Thank you for sharing.
No worries. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm sure there's like 500 that I've missed, but that's what's coming to mind.
Oh, it's always the way. I ask this question so often, but I've never like sat to be like, okay, if someone asked me right now, I would panic. Like I would not know where to start.
That's fair. No, I'm just like, who are my friends? Oh, that's my friend. And like, they're like, oh, they all make music as well. So it's like, oh, boop, 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 boop. That helps. Yeah.
I love that so much, and thank you for making the time to chat about all things EP, new music, and sustainability because these are the exciting things to talk about. These are the important things.
Agreed. No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Oh, absolutely.